Bro, reading books is now the new cool. So bro, I know, like you're seeing all these videos, like reading is the new cool, reading video, like physical books is now the new cool. And it is the cure to the modern world that we live in my opinion, right? But you're just confused, like, because you just can't read. Like you like every time you read a page, your mind just wanders. You can't focus on reading like just a simple book, and it's so hard for you to focus, right? But I'm just gonna explain to you why reading is the new cool and how we can actually, like, how you can actually love reading and just get addicted to reading like these physical books. Because I'm telling you, like, the benefits, like your attention span will be better, your mental health will be extremely better, like you will be more peaceful, happier, more present, right? More mindful. You will focus when someone is talking to you, right? You will be more successful than 99% of people, because 99% of people can't even read books, can't even read one page. So you'll absolutely destroy everyone if you can read like these physical books, bro. So why did reading become the new cool? So basically, like in the 2000s, in Silicon Valley, right, in the US, of course, these big tech companies like Microsoft and Amazon and Google and Apple, they all started this like tech revolution, right? So the iPhone came out, and Google, came out with this search engine, and like Microsoft created like PowerPoint and Word, or all of these things, right? And just the World Wide Web, right? Like www, right? It just exploded, like the web exploded, and the internet, it became the new cool, right? And if you ask like any millennials or anyone that's a bit older than 30 years old, they'll tell you that's the truth. Like they had like the PSP and all the video games came out at that time in the 90s and early 2000s, right? And at that time it was fascinating, right? And if you look at it right now, like these companies right now are multi-trillion-dollar companies: Google, Apple, Amazon, right? Microsoft, of course. These are massive companies. But here's the thing: that in which is scarce is cool. Does that make sense? So because like technology in like the 90s and early 2000s was very scarce, like no one really knew a lot about it, right? It was very new, like computers were very new, like the Macintosh and the IBM computer were like very new technologies, right? In like the 80s and the 90s. So the people who knew technology and were using it, who were using like Facebook, even by Mark Zuckerberg, of course, these were the cool people at that time. Does that make sense? So like social media was cool in the 90s and early 2000s, like Facebook, because it was very simple, right? And basically you could add your friends right on your phone, and you can talk to them on your phone. But most of the time, like, people meet each other in real life. But if you look like at today, like 25 years later, like there's a law in technology which is called Moore's law, which is basically the computer chips, or basically the chips, the hard chips in a computer, they double exponentially every 2 years. That's called Moore's law, basically. So basically, if you didn't understand anything, like technology every 2 years doubles exponentially, like becomes 2 times better every single year. And that's why, like in just 25, and this is why like technology grew extremely fast, like exponentially fast, because of this law. Like in the 2000s, just to put this into perspective, like your parents or millennials, right, they would barely be able to do a Google search, because Google was still developing its search engine, right? And the web was completely scattered, like you could barely even search something, right? But it was just a bunch of links that didn't have anything to do with each other, right? And Google are the people who actually came up and organized those links and made that basically all of the world's information is like you can search it, right? So that's basically what Google did. But now we literally have like artificial intelligence, and it's taking over the world, and like it's worth trillions and trillions and trillions are being invested in it, and we literally have robots nowadays. It's all because of this law, Moore's law. But today, and this is my opinion, technology, we are seeing the darkest side of technology. Like, it's destroying our young people, especially young men, right? Because, like, I think the internet it's the biggest study on human nature. Like, we have billion-dollar industries, porn industries, and they're destroying us. And even young girls as well, like, they're addicted to social media. Like, girls, and we know this from statistics, like, girls send way more text messages and call way more than men on social media. So it just destroyed our generation, like Generation Z, right? I had to learn all these terms, honestly, like millennial and Gen Z, just for this video and to understand, like, my niche. I know these terms are kind of weird, but these are the terms like we as young men use, right? But yeah, it's destroying us, and I've talked about this a lot. Like, these evil billion-dollar industries are just destroying us, and the pure incentive is money. And there's a direct correlation between excessive social media, because social media nowadays is very addictive. It is very addictive. Like, they get scientists, like the most brilliant people in the world, to make us as addicted as possible, to increase, like, our dopamine, hijack our dopamine system. Dopamine is the hormone that, or the neurotransmitter that makes us feel pleasure and motivates us, right? They just hijack it, and that's why we're so depressed, because dopamine increases and decreases below baseline. Like, our evolutionary hardwiring is not used to this at all. So our dopamine increases to massive amounts, especially when we watch porn or play video games that are unnatural. So our dopamine just crashes down, and that's why we feel depressed and anxious and hate our lives. But now reading books became the new cool. Like, I'm gonna tell you a story, like, about this book, Crime and Punishment. Like, today I was watching the Google documentary to make this video, because I was just fascinated with, like, Silicon Valley and tech companies, right? But this is literally how I felt. Like, I just felt this brain fog, and I've been meditating and journaling and reading books. But I read an ebook today. I'm reading ebooks now because, you know, it's like I can speed read them and I can understand them and highlight and bookmark them. But I haven't read physical books in a long time. And I was watching this documentary on, you know, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, like the founders of Google, right? And I just felt this brain fog and this headache, and like, I just literally felt sad at the middle of the documentary, because it had, like, all these effects, like, you know, like how documentaries are, bro. Like, you have all these effects and people on their phones, and how the technology warps, and, like, the timeline, and, like, the sky, and all these, like, every 3 seconds there's, like, a transition. So I just had this, like, massive headache, and I just understood it. Like, our brains are not wired for these devices. They're not wired for social media. They're not wired for documentaries and movies and TV shows. Like, your life is the ultimate video game, it's the ultimate movie, it's the ultimate TV show. But anyways, I was feeling very down. So I saw this book, right, Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky, which is one of the deepest psychological books, right? But my brother gave me this book, and I found it on my desk. So I paused the documentary and I put my phone in another room, and I just, like, opened the book and I just read the first 1 to 2 pages. Like, literally, like, on an exceptionally hot evening, right? Raskolnikov, right? Which is, like, the main character, right? Those first few sentences, my brain was like, like, it just relaxed, and I just became so calm. And it was like an overflow of peace. And I really do think, like, the more we get closer to these habits, like meditation and journaling and reading and exercise, right? That's when we are most fulfilled, and that's when we are happiest as human beings. Is when we are getting closer to our primitive roots, like going out in nature, going on adventures, the thing that actually makes us happy, right? So yeah, reading is the new cool, because it's the scarce resource. That's the thing. That in which it's scarce is what it's cool, and that's why reading became cool again. And it makes me so happy that young people are actually reading and they're considering it like the new cool. Like people are keep saying, oh, Gen Z is the most depressed generation. Gen Z is destroyed, right? But I have so much hope in Gen Z, especially in young men, especially in young men, bro. Like we will become the best versions of ourselves, and this is why I created this movement. For us as young men, right, ages 15 to 30, right, to become the best versions of ourselves. Okay, now like I said in the beginning of the video, like you've heard everything I'm saying, but you're like, how do I read? How do I actually fall in love with reading? And it all comes down to this quote by Naval Ravikant, which is my favorite quote on reading. Read what you love until you love to read. So basically the beautiful thing about reading is, with all its benefits, you can read about literally anything and read what you love. Like you can read books on how to get girls. You can read books on what girls desire, right? You can read books on how to be rich and wealthy. You can read books on fitness. You can read books on mental health. You can read books on anything you love. You can read stories like Crime and Punishment and The Alchemist, right? So yeah, that's how you fall in love with reading. Just read what you love until you love to read. And when do you love to read? For me personally, it was when I got over 100 books. That's when you can read anything, right? So yeah, that's what I learned. As always, bro, we're in this together, we will make.